Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow? Hi there. My name's Gene. A lot of you know who I am because you've seen my face before. Maybe you have interacted with me in some way or you're a part of my audience. I just got off the phone with one of my favorite clients. They're all my favorites, by the way. But I really dove into a simple goal setting process that would allow him to create a new reality. So what does creating a new reality mean? Well, if you are leading into the charge of something new in your life, you have to create this new reality. You don't wait for it to happen. You become the kind of person that drives the results like this. And when you accept that you create your reality and it doesn't just happen because of something else, then you actually take control of that. And that's really a powerful decision for yourself, is to create your own reality. You may not know some of my work, but I work with some of the fastest growing companies out there. Some of the clients that I work with have millions and millions in sales, and these CEOs and their teams are driving results because of who they are, because they create that reality. I've been doing this for almost a decade now. I left the world of tickets to reinvent myself. Actually, I was forced to leave, if you know my story. But I actually love what I'm doing so much now that I'm glad that happened 10 years ago. I want to give you a 4-step process to allow you to create the life that you want. You don't have to wait for things to happen. You don't have to hope that they all come together, but you can definitely make it more complex than it needs to be. So I want to help you with the actual things that I work with my clients on so you can get a feel for it. You may not be a leader, you may not be driving the results for a team, but you can use this in your own personal life. In fact, a big part of it is personal and only a small part of it is professional. So that being said, let's go into the 4 steps. The first one is to really take out a sheet of paper. It takes 3 pieces of paper to make this happen. When I say pieces of paper, like this is a piece of paper. I want you to take it horizontally, and I want you to draw 2 vertical lines to create 3 distinct panels within that one side of the paper. When you do that, you'll be able to write across the top the 3 main areas that we're going to be setting goals in. And these are the areas I use. You can pick the ones that are best for you, but I pick them in personal on the first column. I want to take care of myself first. I'm not being selfish here, but I'm making sure that I'm getting what I really want. Some of my health goals go into that personal goal settings, and I'll share some examples with you too. The next column will be relationships. So these are the people that are most important in your life. These are the people that you love. Could be your family, could be your friends, could be your children, could be your mother, father, could be anyone. And the third column here is going to be professional. This is a place for you. If you're a business owner, it's going to be all about your business. If you are working in a job, it'll be about your career. But these 3 columns really do make up most of our lives. And so when you look at this on this first piece of page, you've got 3 columns. You've got personal, relationships, and professional. Now, what I did was I wrote down everything I wanted to create in the next 12 months in each of those columns. Don't let yourself be tempted to try to figure out how you're going to do it. This is a place for you to dream a little bit. This is a place for you to really think about what's important to you. And I want you to do that with just stream of thought. Just take your time to write down the things that you really want. Now, some of these goals may have been that you carry over from last year that you didn't hit, because I have some of those. Some of them may have been on your goal list for decades. And I have one that I'll share with you. I've been on a journey to lose weight. My knee has been hurting for almost a year, and I wanted to do everything I could. I've seen doctors, I've gone to physical therapy, and my knee has not been getting better. So I decided I'm going to lose some weight. And so I've already started this goal, but I want to keep it going. I want to really push it to the next level. So on my personal side, I've got to get to 180 pounds at 10% body fat. I haven't been there since I've been married. And I say that honestly, it's been a goal of mine for probably more than a decade. and I've done very little to get there. I'm committed. And I'll share with you some of the details behind the actual process. So in step one, you're going to write down exactly what you want in each of these columns. If you have anything that spans a column, then what I would suggest that you do is draw a box around it and make it span across it. So I have an example. I want to take my family on a month vacation. Now I do plan on working, but I want to take us to Italy for a month in July. That's one of my goals, but it actually crosses across personal and relationship. That's an example for you. Now, I do suggest that you get as specific as you can, but this is a place for you to dream a little bit. Don't filter yourself. Don't worry about how, don't worry about your resources, don't worry about anything other than what do you really want. And so you'll end up having a piece of paper that looks a lot like this. Now that's step one. Step two is for you to actually highlight your master goals. Highlight the ones that mean the most to you. I marked mine in red. So I just drew a little red box around the ones that mean the most. What I mean by master goal is if you looked at your goals, one of the goals may actually be something that if you hit it, it makes everything else possible. So I'll give you an example of mine. A revenue goal for the year. I have a big revenue goal for the year. I grew last year, I grew the year before that, but I want to step it up to the next level. I want to add to my team. I want to go on that vacation. So that revenue goal will allow me to do the things I want to do. And so it really is kind of a master goal. And so you're going to create those master goals so it'll allow you to focus on the vital few instead of, everything, because it's hard to do everything at once. You can have 2 of these or 3 of these or 5 of these, but the fewer you have, the more likely you are to really align yourself to achieving these goals. Now, I've got 6, right? You may not be able to read what they are. It's not important what my goals are. There's nothing of secrecy here, but I want you to pick in what goals mean the most to you, those master goals. And if you select them, you can highlight them with a highlighter if you want. I just chose to do them in red. Now, the third step is to get the second piece of paper. And the second piece of paper will be the kind of a little bit of a plan to create this in your life. Now, we've been looking at this for the entire year. And so now we want to get much more specific. I chose to, again, take this one sheet of paper and I drew a line down the left column and down the right column to create 3 kind of tabs, three markup on one page. And so I put across the top January 2020, February 2020, March 2020. So I call this the milestone list. If I want to hit the goals inside of my year, then I've got to get really specific about the milestones in each of the months in the first quarter. If I get the first quarter right, I'm set up to hit the rest of the year, right? So we're going to put a lot more emphasis on the now versus the future. And this gives you a chance to get really specific about what you want to do in January, what you want to do in February, and what you want to do in March. Now, what I end up putting on here is the weight that I want to end January with. I want to end the weight at 189. I'm currently at 194. So I've got 5 more pounds to lose, and so that's just a milestone to give you an example. I've got February at 184, and I've got March at 180. Now, it gives me a chance to actually be at my goal by the end of March. It may not work that way in your world. You may have it spread out over the entire year. I've got my revenue goal by month. I've got some of the habits or rituals that I'm putting into place in each month. So I want to train at the gym daily. I'm going to go to the gym daily. I'm going to do something physical daily. I'm going to plan my meals. I'm going to do, those are the things that you write down. It's kind of the rituals that will help you get there. And this gives you a chance to get very specific. Another one of my big goals is to have 4 date nights with my wife inside of January, and 4 in February, and 4 in March. And I've got some very specific things that are to me, but your list will look a lot like this. So you can keep referring back to this list every day. You can see where you are on this, and this is all in step 3. Step 4 is answering a few questions. Those few questions are really kind of the leverage of this entire process, because now we know where we're going. We know specifically what we need to do over the next couple of months or a few months, and you've got to change some things in your life. So there's 3 questions I want you to answer, and it's best to actually write these out by hand. I did this this morning for myself, but you want to look at the first question: is how will others benefit after you achieve the goals on your list? This gives you a chance to go beyond yourself and look at who will benefit. How will your family benefit? How will your children benefit? How will your wife or your spouse or your significant other? How will your clients benefit? How will your church benefit? How will your friends benefit? Be specific. This is a chance for you to get a little bit more emotional about who will benefit beyond yourself. Now, you may have written down that you want to get a new convertible. Okay, great. That's a goal that you want, but who else will benefit from that? Maybe it's trips out with the family. So that's just an example. The second question I want you to answer with this process is who will you become in order to make this goal a reality? Right? If you really think about what does it take for you to achieve that goal or to receive that goal, you will become someone new. And you must be clear about what those are, the character traits of who you become. If you can define what they are, then you will be able to show up that way more regularly. You will be able to show up that way intentionally every day, every week, every time you sit down for me to eat right, I've got to plan ahead. If I don't plan ahead, I end up grabbing something that's right there in front of me, and it's probably not the best choice. I love Chick-fil-A. Maybe you hate it, but it's easy to go by there and pick up something. But that doesn't really allow me to create my goals. It doesn't give me put me in control unless I plan my meals. So that's an example. I've got to be intentional about my meals. So the last question is really the powerful question here, which is what do you need to stop doing and what do you need to start doing? So everything that you've been doing right now has allowed you to have the life that you have right now. Your level of income inside your bank is a reflection of who you've been over the last 6 months or maybe further back. If you want to change that reality, you've got to look at what you need to stop doing and then look at what you need to start doing. So as an example, I probably watch too much TV. I work hard all day long, and I know that I need to stop watching TV at night and letting my mind suck into it. I'm not saying it's bad, but I probably watch too much at the end of the evening, and I probably stay up too late, and it keeps me from getting up earlier. So what do I need to stop doing? Watching so much TV during the week. I need to limit that into maybe 30 minutes a day, watching a comedy or something, and then I need to get to bed. And if I get to bed earlier, I can rise earlier and get to the gym and get my workout in before the day starts. That's an example of what you need to stop doing and start doing. I'm sharing a little bit of my life with you because I'm an open book. I want to have an amazing 2020, and I bet you do too. If we look back over this again, just summing this up, the 4-step process takes 3 sheets of paper. The first sheet of paper, you will, get my example here, you will create 3 little panels like this, and you will write personal, relationships, and professional across the top. And then you will write down each of the things you want to accomplish in each of those columns. Second step, highlight the ones that are the master goals. I did mine in red, so just highlight the things that are so important to you, that really do drive you, and that if you achieve them, that make everything else easier. If you want a big vacation, you probably got to make more money to be able to afford that, like me. So that's part 2. Part 3 is to create a similar list, but you're going to get much more specific around the milestones that you want to achieve in the next 3 months. So the first quarter, January, February, and March. What are the milestones that allow you to do that? And what are the rituals that you want to do it? One of my rituals is date night. So I want 4 date nights every month. And so I've got that across on each of the columns. It was really easy to figure this out. Now, the last step is the 3 questions. I'm just going to quickly rattle them off. How will others benefit after you achieve these goals? Just list out, write it out for yourself. This is about why you're doing it. Who will you become in order to make this goal a reality? Who will you become to make this goal a reality? And then third is, what do you need to stop doing and what do you need to start doing to make all this happen? This is very logical. This has some emotional elements into it, but I wanted to give you a simple framework if you want to make 2020 amazing. I give it to you. I'm not asking you to opt in for anything. I'm not asking you to hire me. I'm not asking you to do anything other than Will ask you that if you're watching this, if you watched already to the end, comment on me about a goal that I could hold you accountable to. That if you're on Facebook with me, if I sent you a message in a month from now or at the end of the quarter, that you would be able to say, yeah, I did it, or no, I didn't. You'd be able to maybe even celebrate with me. I would love to know a goal that you want me to hold you accountable to. You can just put your top goal up there. You can put 2 if you want, or 3, whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to send me a direct message, that's fine too. But I would love for you to comment on, did you actually do this process? Are you really stepping up inside of 2020 to be the leader that you want to be the person that creates their own reality? My name is Gene Hammett. I work with successful, high-performing leaders. I help them, to create more reality in their life by pushing themselves and challenging them to be the leader that they really want to be. You may not be a leader today, but I do want to remind you that in order to create a new reality, create new goals, you have to show up differently. This is your chance. 2020 is not only a new year, it's a new decade. So, go for it. If I can help you in any way, make sure you reach out to me. My name's Gene Hammett. I'll talk to you soon.